The shocking rise of cancer. Everything you need to watch. Rising cancer death. The three main points: male death rates, explanations of the graph, recommendations/actions. Looking at this graph, you see two bars, a black bar and a blue bar. The blue bar represents the data of estimated deaths in 2009, and the black bar represents the estimated deaths in 2024. Looking at this graph, you'll see that the blue bar is less than the black bar, and looking at the numbers, it's almost like 1,000. It's the difference is about 1,000 per cancer type. But if you look at the deadliest one, which is lung and bronchus cancer, it's almost it's well over 20,000 less compared to 2009. And the possible reasons for the increase in cases for the other types is population increase and aging. With the aging and the increase in population, these people are exposed to more health risk factors, and as you get older, your risk factor for cancer can increase. A positive from looking at this graph, you can see with the lung and bronchus cancer is that it's decreased, and a possible explanation for that is that people the trend of smoking less tobacco and using all those tobacco products has worked, and it's shown that the amount of deaths have decreased. Some recommendations for the other cases to get them other types of cancers to decrease could possibly be changing your lifestyle, such as watching your weight and maintaining a good healthy weight, and that goes along with food intake and drinking, because some foods the foods you eat, they can they can affect, and they could higher your chance of getting cancer. And drinking, like with alcohol, it can increase your cancer likelihood with like liver cancer. Another thing you can do is go to the doctors regularly, get checkups so you can have blood work done to make sure. Cancer cases, undeveloped countries, issues, explanation of its graph, recommendation/action. Looking at this graph, you have three lines: world line, less developed countries, more developed countries. The green line is represents the entire world, and it starts about just under 15 million cases, and by 2035 it's just about 25 million, which is crazy. The red graph starts at about 7 million cases in 2012, and it starts going up, and by 2025 it's a crazy increase to just under 15 million cases. Blue line for the more developed countries stays stagnant and doesn't really increase by too much by 2035, which is good. But a concern is with the less developed countries, their cases are just increasing by 2035, and past that 2035 it will probably be an even crazier number. And a reason for that is the less developed countries, they don't have a good economy, so they can't afford proper health care, and they can't afford treatment and medicines they need. So it that could be why it's going up so much. They don't have the technology that an economy in a they don't have the technology that a more developed country would have. So that could be a reason for it. But I think a, a real the real main reason for why a less developed country is having such a surge in cases could be because of high healthcare. Healthcare is is very expensive, and it's more for the people that have money that can afford it. And for those that don't, and that's probably more people in less developed countries, but it's also in more developed countries too that people can't afford it, but it's even harder in less developed countries. So that could be a reason for it, and we need to find a way to lower healthcare so more people can see the doctor regularly, they can get vaccines, they can just do the just be able to prevent take precautions to prevent cancer, and that could see a slight decrease, but there's no for sure way to lower those cases unless there's a cheaper healthcare for people in less developed countries, and even in more developed countries for people that are struggling and just can't afford it. Like talking about on the previous slide, there's projections for cancer by 2050, and these are just projections for males. It's projected for cancer in males, the cases are supposed to increase by 84%, and the projection for the death rate for cancer rates is 93% in males. And that's crazy that there's a 93% increase in deaths by 2050. And this is my summary. Every every day a couple thousand people get diagnosed with cancer. And to make it worse, they can't afford to pay for treatment. This has caused many to go into debt to save their life. And they shouldn't and they are more likely to file for bankruptcy compared to someone that doesn't have cancer. There needs to be a solution to making healthcare more affordable for people so they can afford treatment and medicine so they can fight back against cancer. And also at the same time with having health care, you can take the precautionary steps before you're even diagnosed with cancer or before it even forms, so you maintain the information that you need to know from a healthcare provider